Hello everybody, I'm Richard Gon of Work to Live podcast version, and this time what I'm going to talk about is that I created a playlist in YouTube, which is all about this episode is. So anyway, so what I'd like you to know this time is that as I told you, there's a there's a playlist I newly created in YouTube. So it's fine that you access that playlist, and you listen to my videos, or you listen to you watch the videos I created. But actually, in the case of my videos, I frequently upload on YouTube. So those videos are those videos are only audible ones, which what I'd like you to know this time is that mainly. So I assume that you enjoy, or you understand what I'm speaking out in those videos. So which means, if you so some videos change on the displays, but actually, as in the case of other videos, so the only stuff you can watch is just a thumbnail from the beginning to the end. And of course, not of course, I wedged, well, I wedge, or I insert the the beginning part into each video. But actually, so after that beginning part, so in each video, so what you can see is almost the same one, which is the thumbnail of each video. And so in some videos, the only stuff you are going to watch is the only stuff you are going to watch is the thumbnail of each video. So which is my manner of video creation, or which is how I create videos. And so, to start with, I create videos in which I speak English language for describing things. And so how to create those videos. For so in my case is that, I com I download audio audio files from Anchor, or from my podcast. And by using which I create videos, like, so as I have told you, I add, or I insert a beginning part into the beginning of each video. And I I cre- I insert the thumbnail of each video after the beginning part. And I I insert, or I add audio files, or the audio file of each video into, so along with the thumbnail, which is how I create videos in most cases. So anyway, so far, well, for now, so far I create videos in such a manner. Anyway, so which is why, coming back to the original track of this episode. So and of course, you can also enjoy the sound, or the sounds, or the noises of this country I live in. So I live in East Asian country. And if you live in Western European countries, or if you maybe, to start with, most frequent listeners are American people, which is why, it's really, I think it can be really difficult for you to come to East Asian countries. So which is why, if you'd like to, if you, how should I say, if you'd like to enjoy some moods, or some atmospheres of, exhausting stuff, or anyway, if you'd like to enjoy, for foreign countries, or if you'd like to enjoy East Asian countries, or audibly, I think this can be this. My podcast can be one of the recommendable tools, or one of the recommendable contents for enjoying such moods or atmospheres of East Asian countries. Anyway, so I have told you that I was going. I told you that I was going back to the original track, but actually, anyway, I'm going to come back to the track. Anyway, so let me tell you the title and the conclusion of this episode. The title is Playlist of Epidemics, Endemics, and Pandemics. And the detail is not the details. The conclusion is I created a playlist broadcasting about epidemics, endemics, and pandemics. This doesn't specify only COVID-19 or the coronavirus, mainly from 2020 to 2022, but incorporates varieties of epidemics, endemics, and pandemics. My opinion is that there are going to be further epidemics, endemics, and pandemics in the future, which is why I created this playlist for keeping records of widespread diseases. And I'm thinking of adding a note into the description column of this episode of my podcast. And the note is the same description is written on the description column of the playlist mentioned above. So I wrote so anyway I have already created the playlist in YouTube in and the and in the description column of that playlist I wrote the same description as I have described to you anyway. So I began to speak out like beginning with conclusion. I created a playlist broadcasting about epidemics, endemics, and I ended the description with, which is why I created this playlist for keeping records of widespread diseases. And so I'm creating this episode in, not in on June. I often make mistakes in the use of not pronouns, so prepositions. Anyway, so I'm creating this episode on June, or in the beginning of June in 2022. So in which, or when the pandemic of COVID-19 has already ended, at least so far there are many patients of coronavirus, but actually thinking about the situation. Thinking about the situation of this country, maybe people have already found the pandemic already ended. So I'm sorry for my bad explanation, bad manner, or clumsy manner of explanation. That is because I'm a non-native speaker of English language, so which is why I can speak English natively. Anyway, so, but actually, so coming back to the track of this episode, I created a playlist. And the title of the playlist is Records of Epidemics, Endemics, and Pandemics for our victory. And for our victory, which means for the victory of mankind or human beings. So which is why I created this playlist, and I came up with this title. So which I think is a correct explanation for this playlist. Anyway, so so in this time, so the purpose of the creation of this episode is to report you that report you that the fact that I created a playlist in YouTube, or in my channel of YouTube. So which is why, so I'm thinking, so if possible, I'm thinking of writing the URL of that playlist into the description column of this episode. So to start with, if you'd like to reach the conclusion on the note of this episode, please take a look at the description column of this episode so that you can read what I have told you in this episode, and what I have the conclusion as and the title and the note I have told you from the description column of this episode. So that's it. Thank you very much for your listening. See you. So afterwards, this is a afterward, but actually, so maybe I think I mistakenly pronounced wage instead of wedge. So when I was describing how to create each video was how to create each video was what I described in the middle in somewhere in this episode. But actually, so when I was explaining how to create my videos, so I said maybe I pronounced I wedge a beginning part into each video, but actually, so maybe pronunciation was wrong. Wage means a paycheck or salary. Employee, unemployed get, but actually, or employees get, employees get wages when in exchange for their labor, so in exchange for their workings. But actually, so the correct word I should have pronounced correctly was wedge, not wage, but wedge. So wedge means, so please imagine the situation in which, for example, if there are three seats in row, and in a row, and you have, and on the two ends, there are two fat people having those end seats. And if you have the middle seat, so you have to insert your own body into the tiny space mainly occupied by those two fat people having the seats of both sides, or both ends. But actually, so in such a case, it's possible to say that you wedge yourself into the tiny space, or tiny vacant seat. So in such a situation, you use wedge, not wedge. So, and it is wedge I wanted to use. So in the case of movie, not movie, but video creation, I wedge a beginning part, or I wedge the beginning part into each video, which is how I create those videos uploaded in YouTube.